All right, all right. We are back again for another potential intriguing cocktail conversation in the Counselor's Corner. I am your host, David Lorenzo Glover, aka the Controversial Counselor, and joining me is my co-host, Herb Lewis, the Big Bad Wolf. We'll be streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. So tonight, April 29th at 9 p.m., we're discussing the topic, does emojis impact adult relationships? I know many of you said, how silly is that? How silly is those figures can impact adult relationships? Well, they do. They do in many ways. And like I said, I know it seems like a juvenile topic and many of you will downplay it, but I strongly believe behind the scenes, adults are having heated conversations regarding emojis and why certain people are sending hearts, winking their eyes, and blowing kisses at all your pictures. Mm, 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 mm. How much stock do you put in emojis, and why do you use them? Research says people who use emojis more frequently went on more first dates and had engaged in more sexual activity over the previous year. Join the conversation tonight. Please like and share the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Controversial Counselor. Also, don't forget to stay tuned and locked in for the segment, Who Needs Counseling, this week. So here we have it. Yeah. Emojis. I know for me personally, half of them, I don't even know what the hell they mean. I don't even know what they mean. And I'm still old school. Like I still put in the little dots in the little, what is that called? The little, I can't even think, the little bracket thing that, and you click on it, it turns into a smiley face.
The semicolon.
Yeah, so all of this stuff that's going on and stuff that I read about and different things is crazy to me. But I'm going to get your feedback, Herb. I don't really have anything, school is school. It's still the same thing. That's what I usually talk about. It's still the same thing. I think this week I had to show two students around the building. That's probably about the most interaction I'd had. Probably shame on me, but it don't seem like the kids want to be bothered, so I don't force myself on no one, and I just, hey, do what I got to do at work. I also got Lakia in the studio and Anita. I'm going to bring them in. But Herb, are you one that use emojis? And how do you feel about it? Do you get emotional about it? Do you put any stock into it, or paying attention if you get blowing kisses or a bunch of hearts? Does it mean anything to you?
Nah, I'm really I'm probably one of the few people that doesn't upload pictures of myself with any frequency. The last picture I took and uploaded to Facebook was probably my 48th birthday. That was probably the last picture I took and uploaded. I'm really, I don't seek out the public light in that regard. I am who I am. I always catch flack for when I say I'm an open book because people think I'm not, and I'm just like, what you get with me is pretty much what you get. I'm not one for the limelight. I don't look for confirmations of attractiveness or handsomeness from other people. I'm pretty well grounded in that regard in terms of, my look and my lot in life. So, whether I post something or people comment or not, I post things because I like them. I'm not looking for the adoration of the public or adoring fans. It just doesn't move me that way. I know some people do, but I don't. But,
how are you the big bad wolf and you don't have no big bad pictures and you haven't updated anything? The big bad wolf should be on the scene.
You know what the funny thing is? I'm actually looking to pay somebody to do almost a caricature, if you will, of me as the big bad wolf. So that's in the works. I got a couple people tapped out for that. So That's definitely in the works, along with a few other things. But we gonna keep that under a little bit of lock and key until I actually unveil it. And I'm sure it's gonna draw some laughs. So I'm sure it's gonna draw some comments. It might draw some ire. But what would I be if I didn't do that type of stuff?
That's true. That's true. All right, we're gonna get the ladies in. Lakia, how you doing?
I am well. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you. Everything is fine.
Okay, good, good. I usually on mute. I couldn't find. Okay, good. Thanks for allowing me to be on the show again. How's everybody doing?
Doing all right. Good evening,
Good.
ladies.
So, what's your take on this emoji thing?
Well, several things. I think emojis. I think for what your topic is, it's the difference if you're in a relationship or you're not. There is some differences, in my opinion. I believe like when you're single and there's the things that people are celebrating, birthdays, anniversaries. You want to say, you put the hearts, you put the thumbs up, you just freely just giving congrats and happy birthdays and, awesome, whatever. You just give it all. But I do believe when you're in a relationship, in my own opinion, for myself and uh, significant other, I would like more so, and for myself, be to show respect to him. I wouldn't heart half naked men or just anything that seems inappropriate because I feel like there's some lines that that can be drawn or I mean that's not being drawn or things that can happen from doing that and vice versa with him. I would hope that if there's he can heart or like whatever, but if it's something like somebody's like half naked or nudity or doing some butt pics, I would hope that maybe he would deter from using the heart. I would prefer that maybe use a thumbs
Hold
up.
up.
Oh, you're looking
Hold up.
cute, but a whole
Hold
heart.
up.
I think he needs to, back off on
Hold up. Now we know
that.
that not all, we don't do absolutes. Uh, but we know a great deal. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I can't speak for her because he might have a different page or whatever. But if I go through my timeline and within 30 minutes, I could probably find some woman with something hanging out, some skin, or whatever the case is. And they may have a message behind it. They may have a strong message, but they may say, hey, I'm going to add a little more flavor to this by posing this way, or they could get this good side, and people are going to pay attention to it. And sometimes, even though they may bring a little extra, sometimes it's the message. Sometimes it's the message. Not every time somebody like, man, damn, man, them titties was looking good, excuse me, whatever. Y'all know how it is over here. Or whatever the case is. She got a nice frame. That's what I'm looking at. Sometimes it's a powerful message to go with it. So in that case, I think some people heart it or whatever, and they don't think nothing of it. Like, okay, keep it moving. Sooner or later, this picture will be out of the circulation. You move on to the next.
See, the thing is, for me, it's like this. It's all about the intention. Like, if its intentions are pure, you know, I just think it's, I think from there's some underlying. There's always underlining too. It could be just a trust issue. It could be because I look at it like for myself as a woman. Do I get DMs? Yes, I do. I get DMs from people, and some are married, some are in relationships. So my significant other kind of gets it, like will get it because I'm like, I know what happens to me. So I'm like, listen, the person I might know the guy's woman, and she's looking stupid. So you're thinking for yourself, don't make me look stupid. Don't be out there making me look like a fool. You out there hurting stuff and or inboxing people or putting comments out there to me because you're in a relationship that's inappropriate, like flirting. It's like to me, it is a level of flirting if you do certain things on Facebook on people's posts. And if there's somebody that is half naked, it could come across that way. And in my opinion, I want you to look good, and I'm going to always try to do things and help you make sure that you're looking good and not looking stupid. Or so I hope that you would do the same for me as, you know, my significant other. And I'm just saying that I think that it's appropriate when you just do it appropriately. That's all. Just be mindful of each other when you're doing that. So I understand what you're saying, but there's still a level of protection of each other when it comes, in my opinion, when it comes to that.
All right. We go, hey, how you doing, Willie? I'm gonna bring you in a minute. I want to get Anita's perspective on this.
I would talk about just Facebook or like text message too.
Text message, whatever social media, but all of that stuff is connected.
I mean, if I'm single, I think I mean it's okay as long as somebody's being respectful. As I don't really get any DMs, and when I do, I pretty much ignore like anything that's disrespectful anyway, or I just laugh it off like whatever. But pretty much, I don't see anything wrong with it when you're single. When you're with somebody, it's a little bit different because you should have some common courtesy between each other. And like Lakia said, don't make each other look stupid. But I mean, when I post pictures, I post what I want to post because it's my Facebook. If you like it or not, you know, you don't have to. You don't have to look at it. You don't have to be my Facebook friend. If you like my picture and you heart it, oh, that's so cute. I think emojis are cute. I don't think there's anything wrong with them in the case that you're using them in the right way.
Okay.
And not being disrespectful towards your significant other.
Okay. All right. So, Willie, I know you probably got something to say about this. What's your take on this? And thanks for joining us again.
All right. So now, what is it? Emojis, or what is it? Or somebody being in the inbox? I'm hearing different things going on.
I think it all lead to one another. But I'm just like emojis. How do they impact adult relationships? Well, I was asking, do they impact adult relationships?
Well, it depends. Like I heard Lakia say earlier, that, you know, it depends on what you're sending and how you're sending them and how often, you know, because sometimes a person may just send you an emoji because it's something you post, you know, and they like it, or they'll send a smiley face, or they'll send hearts. And, you know, I mean, it's just harmless, you know, admiration or acknowledgement of what the person may have posted. But then you have some people who get overboard with it, and they're basically fixated on the page, you know, fixated on your page. And every time, by the time you post something, 30 seconds later, they already hit like, you know, 10 emojis on it and all kind of comments. And you're like, do they have any more friends?
They were already on it anyway. They were probably already on their phone on Facebook anyway.
But that,
and it just pops up like that.
It does. But normally you will wait a few seconds to respond, you know? So, I mean, there's so many different ways. I actually dated a person a couple years ago, and I would put like a smiley face on somebody's page. And because she was following me, she would see what I put, and she would come back to me later and say, "Oh, you put a smiley face on so-and-so page." And I'm like, who? You know, I mean, I was just doing it now because, you know, I like you were saying that, you know, people just, it'll show up on their page and you hit it, you know, a smiley face or a heart or whatever. But she actually was following me around on my page to see who I was, you know, and then she would confront me about it. And the relationship, of course, it didn't last because I wasn't doing anything, you know, maliciously or to reach out to anybody. I was just reaching out to my friends, and, you know, when they post stuff, I was just acknowledging it. But it was really a weird, I had never been in a situation like that before. So I can see it from both sides where, you know, some people do get carried away, and then some people do it harmlessly. But depending on if you're in a relationship and who you're in a relationship, on what their insecurity or security level is, that's going to determine what kind of flack you're going to get from posting emojis, especially on the opposite sex's page.
It's funny he say that because I remember years ago, an individual I met at a fundraiser. We became Facebook friends, and the individual put up a picture, and I, hearted the picture. I got an inbox from a guy trying to denigrate the individual, talking about this, this, and this, and I was like, dude, it was just a heart on the picture. I love the picture. I'm like, yo, and I'm thinking, do cats really get this bent about them? Now, mind you, keep in mind, him and his female long separated. Yep. Done. Nothing in common. Don't talk to each other. Nothing. I'm thinking, wow, partner, that pain must run deep. So just like Willie said, it depends on that individual's level of insecurity or things of that nature. Because some people take this stuff to heart, and what he was saying, that's that borderline stalking nonsense. Which is why I don't have.
That's what I'm saying. He's stalking her.
Yeah, I don't have a follow button for that reason. I leave my Facebook profile open, so somebody wants to come and see what's going on, they can. But all of the other stuff, I'm just like, that's kind of dicey, especially when you don't know the tendencies of people. And I personally, I don't care if I'm dating, married, or whatever the case is. Be you. If you've always done things with men you've seen have dressed flexing muscles, do that. I'm a proponent of not changing who you are when you get into a relationship, because it looks like you're hiding. And I think the last thing certainly I want, and what most people want, is somebody to change who they are at their base personality. In other words, if you've always drank a certain type of drink at a certain time, do that. Be who you are, because once you start to change little things about you, it has a major impact. It's almost like the ripple effect. We never really understand it now until it happens, until we get away from it. You say, you know what? I didn't realize this one thing had that big of an impact. So I'm going to be who I am. I've said this on the show countless of times. When football season rolls around, I'm unavailable on Sundays.
And Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Exactly.
So you got a relationship with the TV and your cat.
Yeah. Hey, that's who I am. I make it known. I full disclosure. This is what I do. This is who I am. I'm not changing. Because, see, and this is the caveat to that. I work midnights. So Friday and Saturday nights, people already know I'm not in the bar drinking. I'm at work. So I get home at 7 o'clock. You can, the sundial looks down and says, okay, you know what? We're off a few seconds because Herb's not here. That's how regimented my life is. And I rarely do things that are out of character or misaligned with what I've always done for the last 3 or 4 years. And I've been working midnights literally for almost 20 something years. So I'm not changing because what I'm doing fits my lifestyle. And this is why I always tell people,
that you're single? That's why you're single?
If that's what you want to believe, I've already told you about that. You're trying to catch a killer whale with minnows. Don't do that. You ain't got a fishing line to take the cake to catch this, okay?
Herbert, that's not what I was saying. I was saying it makes you undesirable for a relationship is what I was trying to get at.
For
when
whom?
You're unavailable.
For whom?
A majority.
Most valuable women.
To whom?
To women who are of quality.
Once again, to whom?
Do I need to say it again?
No, you need to understand what it is that I'm asking you. You're telling me that because I am the way I am, it makes me unavailable to women of quality. Who gets
undesirable?
Who gets to determine that quality?
Okay, statistics say that a man who is unavailable with his time most of the time, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, is most likely going to be single because they're undesirable because they don't have any time and they're not willing to make any time.
There's 168 hours in the week for everyone. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
How I choose to use those 168 hours doesn't deter me from having a relationship. This is why I get people that fit my lifestyle. Everybody's not welcome on my wagon. What I found is working midnights cuts out a lot of the BS. So all the other problems that people have, guess who doesn't have them? All of the nonsense that people has, guess who doesn't have it? Why? Because my message is focused like a laser. It cuts out so much nonsense. It cuts out so much BS. I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about that. I do me. And if you can get in, there's a passenger seat in the convertible Corvette. Hop in.
That's because, to me, in my opinion, is that because it doesn't open the door to allow growth. The majority of the time that growth takes place is when it's someone that you're going through something with someone that is very dear to you. When you don't allow yourself to be vulnerable, it also does not allow you to have growth. It doesn't allow you to be able to experience different things so that maybe you could. It's like, to me, that sounds like you should shelter. You like, nope, this is it. I ain't accepting nothing because I'm always going to shelter myself from anything that can do this, that, or the other to me. But when the beauty of being in a relationship, let me just finish real quick.
For a moment. Just allow me to interrupt you for a moment. Do you live inside a house?
I do, but I come out of it.
Why?
I have to leave out to go places.
No. Why do you live inside a house?
So to protect me from the outside, sleep, rest, eat, cook. But then I do leave.
Because it's normal.
So why would I not want to protect myself from things that could potentially mean me harm?
That's why I knew where you were trying to go. That's why I said, but I do leave, and I do allow others to come in. I knew where you were already going.
See, this is what I love about. This is what I love about you guys.
I heard you from afar. That's who
what
I am.
What do you love about us guys?
But this is what I love about you guys. You guys act like I live like a hermit.
That's what you sound like.
That's what you
I never said that. I never said that.
I only have. You say I only have an hour time span, and you're lucky if I see you for an hour. Blah blah blah. Who the fuck is that gonna attract?
Hey, let me put it to you like this.
I mean,
let me put it to you like this.
A woman that wants a real normal relationship doesn't want to. I don't know what kind of woman you are dating or that you're with, that it works out for you. God bless you. But a normal relationship really don't transpire and grow like that.
But this is what I keep trying to get you guys to understand. You're commenting from your perspective. And y'all talking about it doesn't allow growth. So where is the growth coming from if you're only commenting from your perspective?
Valuable wants more quality time with her interests.
How do you know?
Because I'm a quality woman, and I know
why wouldn't she want to? The only time you can have quality time is when you spend time with each other. What do you mean? How do you know? That's what is a human being. That goes for any type of relationship you get into. You want quality time.
Put another way. If I'm working 60 hours a week, and the individual I'm dealing with is working 60 hours a week, and we work opposite shifts, when do we get to meet?
That may not be a good match.
When you create, right? Or you have to create the time.
See, once again, you're trying to frame something that I didn't ask. I asked, when do we get to meet?
I gave my opinion. It may not be a good match.
But once again, you're operating from your perspective.
My opinion.
I don't want an opinion. I want an answer.
I don't care. I gave you my opinion.
It's not a perspective.
We can't give you an answer because
60 hours a week and she's working 60 hours a week. You make time for the people that you want. And if you can't make time for each other, then obviously it's on the wall. Neither of you should be seeing each other. So in other words, if he's not making time to date anybody, it's because he don't want to be bothered.
It's as simple as that. Y'all are operating. Hold on.
If a man, exactly. If he's not making time,
one at a time.
One moment.
Say that he's not a hermit, but that sounds like something a hermit would do. I'm just saying.
Morning breath.
One moment. She just said, If the individuals want to be together, they make time. I am a proponent of quality over quantity. Always have, always will. So I don't need to be up underneath an individual 30 hours a week, 15 hours a week, 10 hours a week. If when we get together and what we do is meaningful, that's all I need. I don't need.
Well, I guess that's
Hold
all
on,
she
wait.
needs. That don't
But
sound
why do
like
you, but
a
why do you think I just
quality.
said I streamline my life for those?
Herbert.
Anita, why
Why
you
do
gonna
you
let
think
Herbert finish?
Because Herbert don't let nobody else finish. He's always interrupting. But go ahead, Herbert. Go ahead, finish. Because I'm done with this.
Because you guys are
after you
always
finish.
misrepresenting what I say and what I do. When I leave town, nobody knows about it.
Nobody cares either.
Apparently,
one
there's
is
some level of care if y'all trying to dissect what I do.
Nobody cares, Herb. We're not saying that we're stalking you and we care about your every move. We're trying to make sense out of how can you be desirable to a quality woman who's valuable when you're so regimented and not willing to bend and stretch in a relationship that's supposed to grow somewhere.
What
Good
a
way to
structure.
put that, Anita.
What?
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead,
Go
Will.
ahead,
Put
Willie.
it. Show it.
Who determines the quality and value of the woman in a relationship?
I determine. If you don't think
Really?
I'm quality, you
I
don't
know what
even
his
deserve
answer is. He's
that.
going to
Really?
say a man determines the
A
quality
man
of a
don't
woman in a
determine.
relationship
right.
because he chooses her. But what you fail to realize is that men
What's
don't
that?
always choose women. A lot of times we choose you because we decide whether we actually want to go on that date and give you the yes or no to your question. So while
But-
you think it's in your head that you chose a woman, you didn't actually choose, because you
Really?
can say, I like her. Let me go ask her out. And you ask her out and she said, no, thank you. I'm good. Thank you for asking, though, and keep it kicking. So what did you really choose?
He
chose
expresses
to approach.
his desire. Right, exactly. He approached. See, you have to understand.
But a man
women
don't determine a woman's
let him
worth.
finish.
I'm about to get
Let him
into
finish.
Women control sex and emotions. Men control relationships and marriage.
And all that's bullshit.
You can't.
No, they don't.
And even
it takes
say,
two to be in agreement for a
Listen,
marriage to
let him.
happen.
Could y'all let him finish his point? Let him finish his point. Y'all gonna get a chance to speak.
That sounds crazy.
This is something I posted on my page, and I get the same argument. I get the same argument. And the thing is, women control sex and emotions. That's what you control. You can't control whether a man marries you or whether he gets in a relationship with you or stays in a relationship with you. Once he decides to approach you, he's making the attempt for the relationship. Either you can accept it or you don't accept it. It doesn't matter. He has the right to do that. Once you accept it.
And women have the right too. I have the right to refuse marrying you, so you don't control marriage.
If you walk up to a man and he said the same thing, but the thing is, what you control is sex and emotions. You control the emotions that you have in that relationship, and you control when you aren't going to have sex with that man. He can't force you to have sex. He can't make you have sex, because you know what that's called. He can't do anything
so
to
men
control.
are mad about that? Are men going to be mad about that because they think they can, control marriage and what else did you say? A relationship? Because if a man asks
marriage and relationship.
If a man asks to marry me and I don't want to marry him, the answer is going to be no, and he's not going to control that.
Can you make a man marry you? Can you make a man marry you?
Can you make a woman have sex with you?
That goes both ways.
Legally?
A man can't make a woman marry him, and a woman can't make a man marry her.
Marriage is a bilateral contract. Marriage is a bilateral
You're on a slippery slope, and you're trying to
contract.
argue something that doesn't have a definitive answer, so just let it go.
Y'all won't give him a chance to at least hear out his point.
No, I'm listening. I heard him out. I heard him out, and I also read what he wrote earlier. Neither of which applies in situations, because all of what he said that I've read thus far is bullshit. And I'm calling a spade a spade. It was bullshit.
What I miss? What I miss?
A lot.
The bullshit.
And I got punked out, so now I'm not even watching the draft tonight.
I laughed. I laughed my head off because I really thought it was funny as shit. So you basically told men that they have options, right? Now, here's my thing. If a man has been married to a woman who married him when he didn't have shit, helped him get shit, now because she gained a little extra weight, it's a problem and he's not attracted to her, he should just go find a replacement. How about you get your ass up and go with her to the gym and help her work that weight off? You love her through her weight loss. That's the kind of advice you should be giving. Not, oh, go find you something younger and nicer looking.
Often what happens,
that's terrible advice to give.
You know what often happens? You know what often happens when they do approach them? What do they say? Take me as I am. Accept me as I am.
But wait a minute.
So
when you took them for it and sickness and health, bitch, you signed up for all of that stuff.
So anyway, you're gonna
listen. I'm gonna start muting stuff. I'm gonna start muting stuff.
You gotta roll with it. When it gets rough, you gotta roll with it. You signed up for that the day you got married.
Okay, let me say this.
Not people. Do men not realize that that's the unspoken rule? When you get married, you sign up for the ups and the downs. You signed up for a woman when she is beautiful and gorgeous, and you're there when she ain't so gorgeous.
The woman.
That's the Bible. That's the Bible. The Bible that everybody recites when they get married. So you take it up with God.
It's not actually in the Bible. It's in the ministries.
Take that up.
Actually, it is in the Bible.
Listen, this will be more effective.
The man should love a woman the way he loves herself. Am I right or am I wrong?
That's in the Bible.
Listen, this will be more effective. This would be more effective.
If a man can put as much effort into himself and looking nice, he should put his same effort into his woman.
She's mad,
Yeah, she's seriously mad. I can't get a word in. This would be more effective if people could get their point across and then we pass the mic. All this going back and forth. Man, Willie said some things that got.
Didn't you say you wanted to smoke?
Well,
I said I wanted to smoke at school. I said I want to smoke at school. That's what I said. I want to smoke here. Yeah.
So let me respond to what he said because I'm a married woman, and I want you to understand something. I think men fail to realize that women can hold you to them same standards. You have the nerve to talk about a woman because she gained weight. Y'all get bald-headed, you get fat, your dick don't work, your nuts are hanging to your knees, and all types of things. And so you want her to take you as you are, and then you have the nerve to turn around and tell her she's not acceptable. That's a lot of nerve. And so for that same woman that a man says she's no longer acceptable, feel free to walk out the door because guess what? There's another man who will find her wholly acceptable. You don't have to stay, just like the woman doesn't have to stay. Women have options.
Women have options, honey.
Once they get past a certain age, once y'all get past a certain age,
what? Are you crazy?
Market value, sexual market value.
That as well.
Let me help you with that as
well. Because what you felt, let me help you. Let me help you. Because an older man does not have the options if he's a broke man. If you broke, you still attract the same type of things. Do you really think that a young girl wants to be with a man that's older and no money? So if you don't have no money, honey, you're not going to attract her. And the one that you do attract, after you finish paying for all the things the little young girl wants, she's going to go back out there and be with the dude that she's chosen. You're not even an option at that point. You're just a fallback. So let's get that together. But one thing is for sure, I can guarantee you, no matter what age category it is, a man is going to always want a nice home, hot cooked meal. Now you find that in them 20-year-old girls, you got something going. Do you, boo-boo? I ain't mad at nobody. Do you think?
Did she say do
you,
boo-boo?
Yeah, do you, boo-boo?
Listen.
Okay. I had to put my glasses on so I could see y'all. But I'm just letting you know that the options y'all think y'all have. Now, this is some real life stuff. The options that you think you have as a man when you 50-year-old, you think that 23-year-old girl looking at you, unless she got daddy issues, Other than daddy issues, you're not getting that 23-year-old girl. That 23-year-old girl is coming for one thing, whatever you can provide materially. Because guess what? She's going to find a 23-year-old man that can plow her the way she want to be plowed. You're going to be the
know
option. You're
about
going to be
that
the sugar
plow activity?
Can I speak? I got something to say.
Every woman deserves the plow activity.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Right. So every woman want to be John Deere. Let's establish that they want to be John Deere.
And every man wants to be treated like he's a porn star. He wants his woman to be a porn star. Do we all deserve that? Nope. I'm just saying.
All right, girly girl, go ahead.
Well, I've always been one to not encompass everyone under the same umbrella, and I still believe in that people should be judged individually. So I never appreciate being lumped in with the masses. I think everybody has options: young, old, rich, poor, stupid, not. There's somebody for everybody. I think for any man or any woman to say that as you age, your options go down, to me, that doesn't make any sense. I'm 55, got plenty of options. More options now than I did when I was younger. So I don't believe that to be true. Just like a young person has options. But I think people like what they like and they don't like what they don't like. I think usually when people get with that bitter rhetoric, it's usually because of the people they've been dealing with. You've come across a sad ass man or a sad ass woman, and now you salty about it and you trying to blame it on the rest of us. And that, again, that goes both ways for men and for women. I can sit here and complain about black men, but I can only complain about the black men that I have dealt with in a bad relationship. I don't hold that shit over the head of every black man or every man, period. If you want to live your life stringent, live it that way. If you want to freewheel it and be a thought, do you. But I really get sick and tired of hearing about, men, we should all get together and do this, because whatever. Y'all need to go find them ne'er-do-well ass women and have the conversation with them. Them is the ones you need to be talking about, because the women on this panel, we all got it going on individually. And so I think a lot of the pushback you get is because we don't fall into that group, but you keep trying to lump us all into that group. The same with the men. It's a whole bunch of bitter ass men out here, just like there's bitter ass women. Although to me personally, it looks different on a man because y'all hold yourselves to a different standard. And, some people hold on to those same stereotypes that we're the fairer sex, we're the weaker sex, we're this, we're that. And some women see men like that too. They're supposed to be strong, they don't cry, whatever. And so to listening to men complain and whine about how they can't find, a good woman, maybe you're just looking in the wrong place. Or the women that you're dealing with, if they're not for you, keep it pushing, because that's what
they're making themselves undesirable for the women they want.
Yeah, if you're not desirable, what ain't desirable to one will always be desirable to the next. So to say that a 50 plus or 40 plus year old woman can't pull a 20-year-old man, yes the fuck she can. Now,
yes, I can.
I don't know why you would want one, because I just don't feel like we would be evenly yoked. But hey, do you? But to think that we don't have options, that absolutely is not true. And to think that men control marriage and a relationship, I don't agree with that either. That's 50-50. If I don't want you in my marriage, you can't make me stay. And vice versa. If you don't want me no more, you can't make me stay. You can't control that. The only thing people can control is their self. Period. What they want to give and what they want to take back.
Hold on, David. Just to clarify what Willie is saying. What Willie is saying when he mentions that is that more often than not, the lion's share of marriage proposals go from men to women. That's what he's speaking about.
But
so when he says men control marriage, that's what he's talking about, nothing else.
But she still has to say
that doesn't mean that a man
This
controls.
is what I noticed. Hey, listen. We let y'all go on. We let y'all go on, and the guys are sitting there quiet. Herb said a few words. Y'all already jumped in. Let him finish the point.
He stopped talking.
He didn't need to clarify that. We understood it. What you don't understand is that we do understand.
Well, don't
tell me what I don't understand.
I still have the option to say no. I still have the option to say no. Just because you want to marry me does not mean that I want to marry you. So when you make that proposal, if I say no, you're no longer in control, not of the relationship, nor the proposal or anything else.
Let me say this. Let me say that.
So that means there's no marriage, right?
Right.
Right.
If I say no, there is no marriage.
Right. There's no marriage.
Let me say this.
Next person proposal. So that the thing is, he controls the marriage and the relationship. If you say no, then he moves on.
So if I ask him to marry me, that means I control the marriage.
Don't say.
Whoever does the asking does the
control it if I say no.
Women ask
men say hello.
As he stated in the beginning, is that normally in normal world, this
we're in the 2000s now. So
here's my question though. How is he controlling it if I say no? He is clearly deciding.
He's not controlling. All he can do is lick his wounds and go on to the next one.
Wait a minute. Let me hold on. Let me say this. Typically, as far as the man, I don't know if he's gonna put himself out there unless he know he's gonna get a definite yes. A definite yes.
Well, he might think he's
going
to get a
definite. Can I finish?
No.
Can I finish? If he think it's in doubt, I don't know if he's gonna put himself out there like I'm about to go get this ring, pay this money, whatever, and it's a chance. I don't know. We're on the fence. He's gonna know a definitive answer. She's gonna say, "Yeah, this is the direction we going, and we're gonna be all right." If he has any lingering thoughts that it ain't gonna happen, he ain't gonna be a part of that. So I don't know. So I guess that's a part of the control thing. Like he knows, like, okay, I don't want to got this ring. We talked about it. We brought it up. Whatever. I'm about to pop this question. I know she's gonna say yeah. Because other than that, if he's in doubt, I don't know too many men that's gonna put themselves out there like that.
But there's also an assumption. I could have discussed it with you. I had a guy propose to me with a $20,000 ring, and I said no. If I don't want you, I don't want your ring. I didn't.
Why did you say no? Why did you say no?
Because I didn't choose him in that manner. I was not willing to line myself up and wear his name. He was not honorable enough for me. That's it. That's all. And it was, and he was sure I was going to say yes. But that's the whole thing I'm trying to get across to you all, is you cannot control what a person says, how they think, how they feel, and how they respond. You can go on bended knee. You can give her $100,000 ring. And if you're not the man that she's chosen, she's going to say no. Period.
Listen, I'm a proponent of, if y'all meant to be, the value and all that stuff don't even matter. It don't even matter. If your goal is to be together, you're gonna be together, and then that's just the way it's gonna be. All that 20,000 and all that stuff, that's something right there just don't add. Unless you got money like that, both parties.
Well, let me help you. Let me help you with one of the reasons why I said no. He was a terrible money manager. I'm not.
Obviously,
so
obviously.
I'm saying we're never going to line up, no matter what. We're not going to line up. That's always going to be incompatibility. What he did with his money was his business. But when you ask me to join mine to yours, that's a whole nother program altogether. So my answer was no, regardless of what he thought that he was bringing to the table. And this is what I'm talking about. When I said that women absolutely have the right to say no, we absolutely have the right to choose to control a relationship or not. Men do not have control of marriage and relationships, because I have every right to say no. So now if I say no, what are you controlling? You're not controlling anything. A man absolutely
I
has the
think
right to
control.
tell me that he's not going to give up the goodies when I ask. He absolutely has the right to say no. So who is in control of sex at that point?
I think control is the wrong word to use in general for everything. Control is not the word that we should be using, because clearly relationships are a partnership. It's 50-50, exactly. Everybody giving 100%.
But
so it's hard
they
to,
act like they
it's hard to
on men, and they're trying to convince us
controls
that
this
is how men
a woman controls that. To say that a woman controls
let me jump in here for a hot second,
doesn't
Rebecca.
make any sense, because you're talking about somebody's body. If somebody doesn't want to give her body, of course she's controlling that. She's controlling herself. But to say that a woman controls sex, a man controls the marriage, emotions, and all, that doesn't make any sense.
No, you're correct, Rebecca. And the proper word that actually should be used is access. That's what it is. So women control access to sex, men control access to marriage. That's how it should be.
You keep using the word control, though.
No. I said access.
You said women control access to sex, men control access to whatever it was you just said. And that's what I'm saying. Control is the wrong word to use unless you're talking about yourself.
Yes, I'm using it's an individualized argument. So when I'm saying control to the axis, what I'm simply saying is men are going to present the question. Women have access or control to refuse that, just like Scorpio T has said. It's the same thing. If a man wants access to a woman's body, he has to ask. Otherwise, it's a crime. So she controls access to that. That's just all it is. Control is being used in place of access. So men have access to marriage. They ask. Women has the access to decline or accept, just like Scorpio T said. So this is what it works out.
Same power, Herb.
Pardon?
Men have the same right. Men have the same right to say yes or no to access their bodies. It's not.
But hold on, wait a minute. Let me stop you right there. Let me stop you right there. We're not talking about the after. We're talking about before.
Before what?
I'm talking about before anything else engage in sex.
Yes, before anything else happens, there has to be a mutual agreement to whether two people are going to enter into a relationship, marriage, or sex, whether it's consensual, one night stand, or even within a marriage.
Okay.
That's been established.
And yet again, the man still has the right to that in all of those scenarios.
Hold on.
I choose that I'm going to sleep with you,
I'm sorry,
have the right to say
we're not talking about rights. We're just talking about the ability to engage in action.
Somebody needs to turn their TV down so I can hear you.
I'm sorry, say that again.
It was I guess there was someone's television, and I could not hear everything she was saying.
We're just talking about the ability to engage. This is not about a right or a wrong, or a right in terms of the law. Just about the ability to engage. Look at it another way. You as a parent, you have the right to tell your child what they can and can't eat. Just like your child has the right to say, I'm not going to eat that. No matter what you do to that child, no matter what you force that child to do, if that child doesn't want to eat it, guess what that child doesn't do?
That's a different scenario.
No. Hold on. You're correct. It is a different scenario. But what I'm talking about is the right that an individual has.
Sentence that I'm going to say, or am I going to always have to hold on when you decide that you want to speak after you interrupted me? Now I said quiet while you was talking, and now that I'm talking, you telling me to hold on. Now make it make sense. What I'm saying is you cannot use that as an example, because that is a different type of relationship. That's a different exchange of energy. So what you do with your child is never going to be the same thing you do with a guy or a girl. What I'm saying is, before any of the other stuff, men absolutely have the same right to say yes or no that a woman does. It's not.
And this is why I keep interrupting you, because you keep going to the left. Stay in the center.
I am in the
We're not
center.
talking
You
about
brought the
we're not talking about a right. We're just talking about whether an individual can
Are we
say they
talking about
want to.
privileges
Listen,
then?
so if you
listen.
It's not even, it's not even
Listen, I
about
thought we was talking about emojis. I thought we was talking about emojis.
well, I'm just saying, I want to know if you would feel better if I use the word ability, because the word ability is what you said. So a man and a woman, they both have the absolute ability to agree or not agree to all of those scenarios that you have given. Friend, sex, relationship, each person has the absolute right to have that ability and to agree to it or to disagree to it. So back to the statement that you were making about women control this and men control that, that's a moot point, because it is absolutely not true.
Okay.
Hold on. So we got a couple more people that entered. Unmute her mic. We got Marcia. How you doing, Marcia?
I'm okay.
Hello, Marcia.
I think you got two things going on at the same time. Your computer and your phone. One of them you got to mute. Your mic. We got Marcia. How you doing, Marcia?
I'm good. How everybody?
You about to get like Kevin Samuels on you.
Marcia, you have to mute. Turn your YouTube down. Turn your YouTube down.
Okay. I told you I heard that earlier.
Yeah, you about I'm about to get like Kevin Samuels.
In the draft yet? I just need to know.
Can you?
Yeah. I can't deal with that. All right.
So that means you knew where it was coming from. I didn't know where it was coming from.
Yeah, no, I knew too, but David got it before I did.
Mofo, what's good?
She's muted.
We can't hear you.
I didn't mute me. He muted.
Oh, no.
Can you
I'm sorry.
hear me
Go
now?
ahead. Yes.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Hello. How are you all?
Hey, babe.
Bye.
It's like a real fun conversation.
Since
right
I
here.
got
Can't
punked out
wait.
from watching the draft.
I told you to enjoy the draft. I told you to enjoy it.
Yeah, I got punked out. I got punked out by the cable company because my cable is out right now. They're fixing it.
Okay, say that. I know, man, you had a dialogue about the draft before the show started. Okay.
Yes, I was all up into it. I was like, yes, baby. Yes, baby. And all of a sudden, all the TVs in the house blinked out. Everything went off. And I'm like, somebody want to tell me what's going on? So apparently somebody
sound like you ain't pay that cable bill.
Huh?
Sound like you ain't pay that cable bill.
No, there's a transformer box that someone ran into in the neighborhood. So the neighborhood is out until they fix it. My neighbors don't have cable either right now.
I'm messing
like
with
somebody
you.
trying to pilfer the cable.
All right, let's go on. We got a full house tonight. Whatever.
Listen, I live in Chicago, so whoever was running from the police was nice enough to run into the transformer. So yeah, I can't watch the draft, and I'm salty.
So we going back to Mofo. I don't know what part you heard or whatever the case is. You can pick up at any piece you want. We was talking originally. We started with emojis. Do they impact adult relationships?
Not mature relationships.
Not mature relationships. Explain that.
Emoji,
Explain that.
How can an emoji, something that you control on your phone through text, alter your relationship? Not mature relationships. Mature relationships don't give a damn about your emojis, your Facebook status, and none of that other bullshit that people like to talk about. So no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. I can respect that. So when you say mature relationships, like what does that consist of? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm mature," and I can handle this.
Themselves too. If they're letting emojis control their relationship, that's the first sign that you have that you're not in the mature one.
Well, I hear you saying mature. So do you think that starting off the relationship is in a mature state when you're starting off dating? Like, is
What
it
does
progression?
emojis does not have anything to do with the relationship. I don't care what
No,
part of the
okay.
relationship you in. Are we still talking about emojis? Because
We still
emojis.
talking about emojis because if now
Okay,
just
no.
okay. So my question for this, so you think that just
Somebody
from
still has something going on,
What is
like
that
in the
noise?
background.
Because I don't got anything in my background.
I believe it's the new one of the new ladies. She got to mute the Facebook one and keep the StreamYard on. So that's what you have to do. So I get what you're saying. Mature, it shouldn't break up a relationship. Absolutely not. I agree with that. Absolutely, 110%. Do you believe there should be standards for the use of
Emoji?
in a relationship? Like you're
No.
married. You're
My
married.
statement,
Like
listen,
Brownie said, you're
No.
married. So
my
you
statement,
never, y'all got
listen.
never gotten an issue with your husband about like loving another woman's picture.
No.
Hell
What does that
no.
have to do
Sometimes
with
me and my
emojis?
ex
I'm
still
trying to
look at
figure
other
out where we're
pictures.
at.
No.
Are we talking about emojis? Are we still talking about emojis? What are we talking about? We got to stay on. Like
We
Herb
talking
said,
about
let's stay on
The
emojis,
central
subject.
theme is
emojis, or
So
emojis.
what does that have to do with liking somebody else's pictures? We're
we're
talking
talking
about
about the
emojis.
heart.
There's no mature person that is putting their stock in a relationship in the use of an emoji. It just isn't. There's
Now I'm not
not.
saying I'm not saying like the stock is put in it, but I'm like, do you think like
If
so
you're
you wouldn't be
asking me
offended if your significant other or
the
if
only
your
way that I
husband?
could be offended is if I'm putting stock
No.
in something,
No.
sweetie. I
It
can't
doesn't
be
make a
offended about
difference.
something that is
Oh,
not,
okay.
I don't put any
I'm just
stock in.
wondering. Okay.
No, because
No,
here's the
I'm saying,
thing. Don't we all
listen, I
have
use
emoji buttons on our phone?
emojis.
Can we not all
I
use
use
some emojis? So if somebody uses an emoji that piss you off, you use an emoji that pisses them off. Okay, it's an emoji. Because how about this? How did we communicate before emojis? Before there was a
right.
heart symbol
There
that you
was
could
no
put on
emoji.
your text, there was no emojis, and we still
But you know what
managed
there
to
was?
communicate. So
Right.
it's a hard pass on emojis having any bearing on a mature relationship with mature
Right.
people. When you are in high school, emojis matter to you. When you are a
Right.
child and you can draw a heart or a sad face, when you write that little letter in school, do you want to be my girlfriend? Yes or no? Check the box. That's when
That's what I'm gonna say. That's what we used to
emojis.
do. That's what it used to be, right?
When the last time you did that, sweetie? If you tell me that you
Right.
did that last week,
That was
then we
what we
can't
used to
talk no
do
more.
back in
You did that in high school.
elementary.
You did that in elementary school. That's when you did that. You didn't do that as an adult. I'm gonna hope that you don't do that as an adult. But hey, everybody live their life. As far as mofo is concerned, emojis do not run any part of my life at all. They're a nice
Absolutely
entertainment
not.
to add on to something that you say. But without that, I can cut you out and put a heart emoji. Now, which one are you supposed to pay attention to? I can say, fuck you very much and
Exactly.
put a heart, a smiley face, I care emoji, and all of that. So, no, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do what I've been doing. I'm going to pay attention to them words and those actions. That's what I'm going to do. So yeah, that's where I'm
And
at with
to
that.
answer your question,
Thank you,
to
darling.
answer your question, Lakia, no, my husband and I have never had an issue with emojis. I use emojis for everything: children, men, women, cats, dogs. It doesn't make a difference. That has never been an issue ever. He can heart 55 women's pictures, and it means nothing. I can heart 75 men's pictures, and it means nothing.
Right.
Because it's an emoji. I
I'm
can
about to interview
guarantee you that
baby.
when it's time to lay down, he's in my bed and I'm in his. So those mean nothing. If it's some woman that's really taking an emoji real far, okay, well, see where he ends up at night, and that'll tell you what you need to know. Nobody cares
Is
about
that
an
considered
emoji,
a
and
red
I've never
flag?
had a problem. How can it be a red flag when it doesn't matter? It
No,
doesn't
I'm just saying,
matter.
like in a relationship, would that be considered a red flag if a woman was tripping too hard on the emojis?
No, I wouldn't care.
For both
I don't
of
care.
them,
She
yeah.
can't
To
care.
me, yes. If anybody's tripping over emojis, you need to run quick from that person because he or she is an idiot, and you need to run. I'm not being nice about dumbasses trying to be in my life. If let a nigga call me and talk about the emoji that I sent, I'm working 3 hearts instead of 4. Nigga, do you understand? You have just eliminated yourself from pussy for the rest of your life with me because see, I don't control sex. I only control who I have it with. And if you're arguing about emojis, You just disqualified yourself from Queen Pusalaya over here, okay? Pasina and Clitora is not talking to you over there if you're talking about emojis.
Love it. Love
What
it.
y'all talking about?
Thank you. Thank you. I
Like I said at the top of the show, be you. If you've always done something certain way, continue to do it, because more often than not, what you've done is what attracted that individual to you initially.
Like I said at the top of the show.
Goddamn muted.
And just for the record, I don't think there's a person that has somebody that wants that person that nobody else finds attractive. So if you listen, I know my dude is a good looking dude. So I don't have a problem with some other woman looking and admiring it, because yes, he's a good looking man. Same way. I don't want to be with anybody that nobody else finds attractive. Period.
Y'all understand why I don't want to be married now? Why I look at it as
wait a minute. What about I want to hear.
Oh,
sorry. I want to hear what Mama T got to say about.
Sure about that. Okay.
Listen, I can take smoke.
Mama T emoji is this. Mama T emoji is this. That's her emoji.
Eat the dog.
Yes, sir.
Emoji is eat the dog. Listen, when they come up with an emoji that says eat the dog, that's gonna be Mama T's emoji right there. Eat the fucking dog. That's what you do.
So no,
you already know what she's gonna say. You don't want that smoke. You are not capable of handling that smoke. I'm telling you, Mama T don't pull no punches.
Bring it. I don't have no problem with it.
Mama T brings it, and I bring it for real. I tell you how I feel, because you know what? At the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what nobody thinks. I'm grown. I punch my own clock. I sure do.
Let's just start right there, Mama.
I don't need no approval.
She does not disappoint.
I don't give a fuck what nobody think about me. You really think I do? Yeah, right. They must ain't nah. Mama to tell you a minute. You can get to stepping. And far as this, men having more options than women, that's a damn lie. We got just as many as men. There's just as many horse men out there trying to get somebody's wife as there is. The only reason I got a lot of options because pussy costs $2 since crack came out. Ooh. That's the only reason. But you know what?
Good damn.
Don't make me laugh.
My mother was $2. Cracking my juice.
All right, we go swing it over to Willie's side. Willie, what's good, man?
Hey,
you all
right? He ain't ready.
Where you at?
$2, Mama.
Willie better get your chance to speak.
His mouth is moving.
He's muted.
He's not muted on this end.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was muted. That's why I didn't know. Well, I'm a guest here, so I'm just sitting listening. But
oh no, baby!
I don't even know where to start.
Oh,
well, I'm
no,
not gonna start anywhere.
Oh no, you're not.
You're not a guest. You're not a guest.
Oh, no.
You're a this.
Well,
go ahead, Willie. Get your chance
about
to
emojis.
speak.
I agree. No, I agree. I agree with what she said about emojis and people in relationships. They shouldn't have an effect on your relationship unless you're in a relationship with an insecure person.
Exactly.
And that's normally what you have is an insecure person that's more concerned about you putting a heart on somebody's picture or a smiley face or somebody's picture. I talked about that earlier about a relationship I was in a couple of years ago, that was the case. They were actually following me around on Facebook, seeing who I put a smiley, and it was an insecure person. And of course, like I said, it didn't last long, but you know, it was my first time ever going through something like that where emoji brought that much destruction in a relationship. So, you know, I agree with what she said earlier, that, you know, it shouldn't have an effect. It's something basically that's there just to compliment a person or, you know, showing your admiration for what they posted. But other than that, it shouldn't really have any real effect on anybody's relationship. And if it does, then you're in a situation with an insecure person and nothing you do is ever going to be right.
And that's the thing, whatever. And that's why it was important to have this conversation, because I know I deal with it on a day-to-day basis when school is really school. about emojis, BF, what is it? Best
You in
friend,
school.
BFF,
You
whatever.
talking about
Those are
children. You
children.
dealing with
Talking about
kids.
Listen. You don't understand.
That's exactly where it
Listen,
started at.
this is what y'all don't understand. There's a lot of parallels with kids and adults. That's what I'm trying to say before y'all jump in, before I can finish speaking. There's a lot of parallels. Because I'm thinking,
so your whiskers all in a bunch.
Don't
Noting
insult
the
my
fact that you
intelligence
talking
like
about
that.
your
Please.
high school
Hold on.
children, and
What?
there's not.
What David is trying to
The
say.
high school people
exactly,
get
whatever. They
upset
just
because of that. That's what's going. We're talking
So, like,
about
okay.
high school.
Carry on. Y'all continue to talk here, so
Exactly.
What
somebody
he's
can
saying
never
is
finish their
this:
point.
it's a
Everybody was gonna try to
carryover.
talk for
Emotional
him.
creatures. Now can't nobody finish their point. Okay, gotcha.
What David is saying is there's a carryover from people who get to high school and they never mature past that point. They carry those behaviors over into adulthood.
We know that.
That's what he's saying. We can say that no, they don't, but we already know that if we go through and we look at Facebook timelines, that there are people who are adamantly upset and disgusted by people who do this because they think it's a betrayal of the relationship.
But again,
We
she
know
said
that.
that those are immature people. We've already
We
But
know
that's
that.
what
But it's a lot.
that's what
It's a lot.
David's
There's a
getting
lot.
at.
There's a lot. So what I was saying is, I only thought that I would go through this at my job. But when you see stuff, you're like, damn, adults really struggle through this stuff. They really struggle through this. I have tons of conversations with different people, and they say, so, my scenarios I post, it led me to writing books that people tell me this stuff, and I'm like, damn, man, y'all for real? Who gives a damn? I don't even know what half of this stuff means. What does that? Sometimes I have to Google it, like look for it and say, what does this mean? Because I don't know what it means, and I say I prefer words, and I'll say that to people. What are you talking about? Do other thread like, what does this mean?
Stupid people.
What does this mean? I don't know what it means. So I know it impacts adults as well. So people can sit here and say and downplay us, although those immature people, but a lot of people
They are immature.
consider themselves mature, but they still struggle through this stuff. That's why we had these conversations.
That's because they don't know that they're
children
immature.
masquerading as adults. That's what they are. They're children. They're children who are age appropriate to be called an adult, but you still got a child mentality, so you're still a child.
And let me ask Dave a question.
Y'all talk about men child all the time.
I like to ask Dave a question. Do you find it an immature thing that when you see adults arguing about emojis, do you find that to be an immature act? Yeah. When you see the arguments and stuff that you see of adults that's going crazy.
Do I find it immature?
Yeah.
Of course, I'll say, what the hell? These things is just a big face ass thing with such and such. I prefer to use words. You're going to get it to direct. I'm not going to guess or speculate what you mean by that. Because sometimes people click on the wrong thing and you like, damn, somebody just said somebody died. And then you got a ha thing, whatever. I say, stop using that crap, whatever. Then the person say, in the thread, what did you mean by that? Why are you laughing? Or whatever the case is. And I say to myself as I'm reading it, they probably clicked on the wrong thing, whatever. It's just, it shouldn't be controlled by that. Adult relationships.
Yeah, because
it shouldn't be controlled by that.
It just sounds
when I see an emoji and I see people acting stupid about emojis, the first thing I think, no, please, by all means, I'm not saying that anybody has to think like me, but when I see grown people arguing about emojis or any other asinine thing like that, my first thought is that these are two immature ass people that haven't graduated mentally from their high school antics. So this is why when I say, yes, there is an absolute parallel, that's like a Captain Obvious statement. We all know that we start off as kids, and then what we learn as kids, we take over into adulthood. That's not a revelation. That's the norm. So that means that in between that time, if you are 45 and still complaining about emojis, that means that you still think the same way that you did when you were 18 in high school, and that's for a man or for a woman. That means that you haven't grasped what's really going on, because you got a lot of time on your hands. You sitting up there counting the hearts that a mofo put under somebody's picture.
But you know, if I could just, I just want to just say something real quick regarding that, because I'm not trying to make excuses for it. with you. It's immature. And I learned that. I'm learning. Everybody ain't getting everything.
I can't understand
So
what you're
I
saying.
ain't
You're
perfect.
breaking up.
Okay.
You're breaking up really, really badly. We
I'm
don't understand what you're saying, babe. Something's
Am I still
going on
breaking
in
up?
audio.
Am I
Okay,
still
keep
breaking up?
talking. Let me see.
You
Good
hear
right
me
now.
now? Can you?
Yeah.
Am I better? Okay. It's and I know it is an immature act, and I've had, like I said, I've had to learn this. But there was a time, I try to be transparent. I don't hide nonsense because it was nonsense. But it was a point in time, and it was because I don't want to say because it was immature from when I was a kid. I think it's from when experiences as an adult, when I see, as I shared earlier, seeing other men in my men like heart in my stuff, and they're in relationships. And from that, when somebody that I was dating is doing this, like they're out there hearting other women's stuff, and I'm like thinking, are they like being like, is it inappropriate? I'm just gonna say, was it inappropriate? Because I was thinking that there should be a level of being mindful of each other. So true. Should we look into it that much? If somebody is gonna do something, they're gonna do something regardless if they heart, not like, if they don't thumb, if they don't put any fire under it, a picture or whatever, they're gonna do whatever they want to do anyway. None of that matters. And I do know that. I'm just saying I was somewhat a little bothered by the fact about it, but I have learned, and I'm growing, that's something it is immature. So I agree with you. I'm just saying that there were some times that I would go ham on somebody about it.
You had an internal issue that you tried to project onto another person. That was very immature because it didn't matter.
And it's just like that scenario that David put up in the group about, the guy that put up a nice picture and the friend commented under it, and so now they're having a conversation, and his girlfriend got upset and came on and gave that woman smoke. I stand exactly behind the answer that I gave. She was a punk ass chick. You absolutely check the person that's with you. You're not supposed
you always gotta check the person you're dealing with.
Some other woman. It's very seldom that I hear of men going and confronting the other man when they find out that their woman cheats.
Right.
Very seldom. It may happen, but you don't hear about that. But you always hear women because will go the path of least resistance, will try to go to that other woman and try to tell her what to do. That's ridiculous. That makes no sense to me. This other person, I don't give a damn. It's only two people in that relationship, and those are the two people who are responsible for keeping that relationship together. It's the two people that are in it. If a dude cheats on his diet, you don't go start cussing out hamburgers. You talk to him because he cheated on diet. You don't cuss McDonald's out. Y'all sold my man a hamburger. He only supposed to eat my hamburgers. He ain't supposed to eat your hamburgers. He's supposed to eat. No one does
that was a good one. That was classic. That was classic.
I like that.
What Saria's saying.
Somebody cheating on a diet. You get the person that has violated. Period. It like I
what
understand
Saria's
like
saying.
that's a hard concept.
So I need her ready to clarify. Go ahead, her.
No. To what Saria is saying, I don't always clarify. I give at it is. To what Saria is saying, this is why a lot of people who get in relationships, they unfriend each other so they don't have to see that type of stuff. I've heard that happen.
That's also immature.
I'm not saying whether it is or it isn't. I'm just saying that's how people that are at that level of maturity, they understand that, and in order to avoid conflict, they do that. So they minimize that. That's how they handle their immaturity.
So here's
my problem with that. If you doing all of that, you shouldn't be looking to be in a relationship with anybody.
That looks as though you're hiding something. If you have to unfriend one another,
you shouldn't even want to be in a relationship with anybody if that's going to become an issue.
Yeah,
that's for children. Don't look for a relationship.
Listen. If it's two people that live together, what's the reason for y'all being friends on Facebook? That's the question I would ask. What's the point?
Facebook.
For what?
Why not?
For what? When you got two different friend groups, whatever. For what?
Why not? Why not?
Why do we have to do all of that? Because here's what it is. Just like that phone conversation. People all of a sudden want to hide their phones and shit.
You always your girlfriend. Why should that change now that I'm in your skin?
That laugh gotta stop. That laugh, you gotta get rid of that.
Well, let me ask this question, Herb. Let me ask you this question. If you two live together, what need is it for you to have a joint account?
A joint account on what?
A joint banking account. You add them to your banking account. You can add me to your banking account.
That's the same thing as Facebook.
I'm just saying.
You're asking me.
Facebook and everything else. Because you asked the question.
You're asking me.
Because you asked the question.
I said I would
David
not.
asked the question.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Dave
We did. Never mind, Herb. Not you. My bad.
That's okay.
Dave, answer that question. My bad, Herb.
I mean,
I'm asking Dave.
I just don't see
because our bank account and our finances is different from social media and Facebook, whatever.
How? You
How?
can in your bank accounts than you can on your social media.
You gotta have trust in both situations. So how is it different?
That
Really?
part.
Really? My money is my money. If my money, if Facebook, if somebody said get off Facebook, it's gonna stop you from making money. Goodbye Facebook. Goodbye Facebook. So that's a different level.
Why wouldn't you
that's
be
a different level.
If Facebook is not that important,
Yeah, I'm not even feeding into this nonsense right there. Y'all already know. Nice try. I ain't even checking for that one. Next question.
You ain't got to check for it. Your argument is invalid. It doesn't make any sense.
Next question.
What you mean?
Next question.
It's invalid.
They don't even go together. They don't even go together.
Trying to find
They make about as much sense.
Go ahead, Willie. Willie. I'm giving Willie the mic. I'm giving Willie the mic. Listen, I'm giving Willie the mic. I'm giving Willie the mic. I'm giving Willie the mic. I'm giving Willie the mic.
I tried to sneak that in there.
I heard it. We heard it.
I heard him.
I didn't hear it. I missed it. What did you say?
What'd
you say?
You're trying to make rational. You're trying to make rationality out of irrational situations. Because with women,
who's trying to do that?
You're trying to. Because you have people saying things that have nothing to do with the subject and trying to rationalize it, and it's like you're making rational comments and answers out of something that's irrational. It makes no sense. Some of the stuff that's being said because it has nothing to do.
Things don't make any sense.
With what we're talking about. So we got from emojis to talk. Listen, hold on. We got from emojis to share bank accounts. I'm like, okay.
Well, it didn't make
two different situations.
Well, to me, it sounds like there was a comparison being made.
Yeah, I understand, but it was an irrational comparison because there is two different things. Social media is something totally different. If you base your marriage on social media, then you don't need to be married in the first place. So to say that I can't be your friend on Facebook, and we shouldn't have a joint bank account either.
There because the component that you're leaving out, no matter what scenario it is, trust still has to be gained. It has to be gained. Okay. Trust is earned. It's not given. So if you act
you're rationalizing something that's irrational.
What's irrational about?
Wait a minute.
Emojis controlling relationships. That's irrational to me. We had that conversation. But here's my question to Dave is when Dave brought the scenario.
But then you turn around and apply that same thing, that emoji to a marriage. Again, the same thing.
Like how can you say if you got to trust, right? When you got to trust on Facebook, how many? Just be honest. How many people had some issues with Facebook and relationships because there was some movement going on Facebook? Nobody.
There was a movement. What movement went on Facebook?
Yeah, I'm talking about this because it's trust. It's about trust. You're trying to say like Scorpio T just talked about trust on Facebook. Why?
When you talk about trust in a relationship on Facebook versus trusting somebody to have a joint bank account with you, that's a totally different type of trust.
Well, let
That's
me
a totally
help
different
you with what I
mindset
said.
when you
Let me help you with what I said. I
I'm
felt like the
listening.
entire conversation I felt like the entire conversation is asinine. So when you
I
have
don't
an
think it's
asinine
asinine. I
conversation,
don't think
you
it's
interject.
asinine. I don't.
I do. I
I don't
do.
think.
I
Well,
do. And
if
I
you thought it
absolutely
was
have
so,
the right to
you should have
think
kept
so.
watching the draft. You should have kept watching the
If
draft.
my cable company wasn't off, if they didn't hit the
Because
transformer, I
clearly, when
guarantee
you
you
have
I wouldn't have been here.
different
But
people with
I
different
have
perspectives, it's
Dave,
not
this is what you
asinine.
fail to
It's
Mama
realize.
not
T,
This is
like
what
this
you
asinine.
guys
is
fail
It's
to
not
we
realize.
can't hear
asinine.
her.
I have every
I
right
want to
to
hear her.
think what I want to think. If I think
Okay.
this conversation is asinine, I got every right to
So
say that, and I think
when
it's
I think
asinine.
something is
This is a stupid
asinine, I step
conversation,
away
so I
from
don't.
it. I step away from it. Typically, when I think
I can
something is
stay and
asinine,
still think it's stupid. I'm here and I still think it's a
It's
stupid
getting hot
conversation.
in
It's
here.
just as
yeah,
idiotic as
it's
what
getting
I think.
hot. It's hot. It's getting hot. You made a comparison. Your ass got pulled to the fire. Now you're trying to clean it up and say the
Actually,
conversation is asinine because you
the
said
reason
Facebook is compared to a
I
bank
sent it to you.
account.
Actually, the reason why I said that was because the entire conversation was asinine. That is the dumbest. This is the dumbest conversation you can have as adults
So that's
about
irrational
emojis
too.
and
So every
Facebook and all
irrational
that kind of
But it's
stuff.
situation
It
real
makes
makes
it
no
even
stuff
more
sense.
though. It's
irrational.
real. It's real. People like the thing
To
is
who?
we're having a conversation.
Her,
We're having a conversation about things that do affect relationships. And basically we've come to a great conclusion that people just need
Who
to
is
grow up.
we?
right.
Who is
I
we?
said we have come to a great we together in
I
this.
said who is we?
We're together.
I said who is we? Because I never listen. Who is this we that you speak of? Because this girl right here, me. I'm speaking for me. I'm speaking for
The
me.
conclusion is we are that people just need to grow up, but these are conversations that's necessary because it helped me. What Saraya said, what you said, I've even though I've gotten to the point, I'm just saying it even helps add to the fact that I needed to grow up in that area.
Every day is people struggling over this stuff. Every day is people struggling. It's people struggling over this stuff. It might not be. I'm talking right now. I'm talking. And I don't want to sound like her, but I'm finishing up a point. Every day is people struggle. Every day people struggle over this. It ain't got to be 45. It ain't got to be 50. It could be somebody 35 or 30. They going through this.
Nobody's struggling over this.
Well, David,
Here's
I'm going to
the thing.
respond.
I tried to
I'm
share
going to
with
respond to
struggling,
you
man.
and
Correct. There's
Lakia
so
in
many
the
people
same
struggling.
People gave examples
Jesus
of
Christ.
struggles. People gave
Yes,
examples
Willie
of
shared
it.
an example.
We have listen, there is absolutely
Plug in.
no denying that there are people that are dealing with these types of issues in their
Thank you, Mofo.
relationships. There's absolutely no denying that what we're discussing is whether that is whether these things are rational things to be fighting over in your relationship or not. And it's just my opinion that they are not. Because for me, when David asked the question, well, if we live together, why do we need to be friends on Facebook? To me, that has nothing to do with one another because the very possibility is that before you moved in together, you were friends on Facebook. You may have even met that way. So the perception, if you start to live together and then all of a sudden we want to erase it, we don't need to be friends on Facebook no more because we live together. The perception of that is that there's something that you have to hide. Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong, but the perception, if you decide that because we live together, we must not need to be friends on Facebook anymore. That's gonna, for me, that would be a red flag. Not that I care, but I would be wondering why you care so much. Once I move into the house, the first thing you do is go to Facebook here. Let me unfriend you because we live together now, honey. No, that's a red flag.
And that's exactly what I meant.
Exactly. If I was your friend
That's
before, I should still be your friend
That's
after.
exactly what I meant when I
Nothing
made the
should change.
comparison. She put it in a nutshell. That's exactly what I meant when I was talking about the joint bank account. That's exactly what I meant. Okay, but before I could finish getting there, Dave was not jumped in and I'm gonna start talking now. So I let him talk. With that being said, we did hear a real life story on here. And I just feel like, listen, do your work before you enter into a relationship with somebody. And you don't have that problem. If you're suffering from some type of insecurity, you need to work that out. That's part of being mature. Mature people don't have these
I give you
issues.
that.
Now, when you're talking about children, even when you're talking about adults that have a child mindset, in my mind, they're still children. So when you're talking about mature people, this should never be an issue. And if you know that you're not going to act right, don't enter into a relationship. You don't have to answer to anybody.
But
You don't have to
listen,
explain anything. You can do whatever you want to do.
But the thing is, like,
but listen,
say
Scorpio
most
T,
immature
we all
people
say
don't
that.
know that they're immature.
Yeah, we always say that. We say people who financially shouldn't be dating should be dating, but people do it because people want companionship, and no matter what, they'll say, "Hey, I'm gonna enter myself out there. Hopefully, whatever I got to offer, I can find somebody that can buy into it."
Then you got to
And
deal with the
usually that is somebody.
consequences of
Yeah,
that decision. If you
exactly.
Then you
decide
have
to
to
do
deal
that,
with the
if
fallout.
you decide to
Then you
not
deal with the
have
fallout.
yourself together, for me, and I'm just speaking for me, when I'm not right financially, dating is the last thing on my mind.
Yeah, I don't
Because
want to be
I'm
bothered with
trying
nobody.
to get my bag together. I'm trying to get myself back to the point where I can look in that mirror and know that I can take care of myself. So somebody wanting to take me out for whatever it is they want to take me out for, I let them know, hey, listen, I'm not in a good position right now. I'm gonna have to get back with you. I had dudes tell me that I was being selfish for saying that, and what I told them was, so then that's what I'll be. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get myself together, because me getting myself together saves any dude that I'm going to be with the aggravation of having to come in and be a captain save a hoe. You don't have to come and save this hoe. This hoe has been saved by herself a million motherfucking times. Okay. And in return, I'm not gonna be a nurse band. I'm not a nurse building nigga. I cannot help you. We're not doing that. You need to come to me as a whole person in the same way I'm coming to you. Now, the people that we're talking about in these scenarios, for me, doesn't seem like any of them are whole people. So this is why you have the asinine situation. This is why you got a chick sitting there counting how many heart emojis is up under somebody's picture. This is why you got a guy that's acting as though he looking for a bitch in the daylight, a flashlight, because oh my God, she owns somebody else's post. Because we have two people that are not individually together, not ready. That's really the answer to all of it. We could give a million different scenarios, and the answer is the same. You haven't done your shadow work. You haven't worked on yourself. That's really the answer to every problem. Work on you. That's the answer to every problem.
I want to say this. We got somebody else trying to. I just got a message through here. I don't know if y'all see it. They said somebody else trying to enter in the studio, but the studio's full. You don't get 10 people. That lets you know, even though you think these conversations asinine or whatever, people struggle through certain things. There's somebody else trying to get in. I don't know who the hell it is, but
Well, let
somebody
me
else.
help you. I can tell you who it is. It was my husband. It was my husband trying to get on. So the conversation is still asinine, but it was him.
Okay, whatever. Okay. He should just join you then. If that's the case.
Time to go ahead.
But let me ask you. Can I ask you this question?
Join me. He got his own device.
So let me ask this question. So when two people are coming together and they're dating, do you believe that there's going to still be some things that's going to come up that needs, because you're trying to bring two people together, right? So just, you know what I mean? I don't want to say that they're totally so the thing I'm trying to say is that I wouldn't say that they're totally not whole. There's just some things they need to come to some common ground and understanding with. Everything is not a red flag.
So here's what we're talking about, because again, that's for me, that's a captain obvious statement. Of course, if you're trying to get to know someone, there are going to be differences that you have. When I'm talking about people that do not have themselves together, I am speaking about people who would be struggling with these issues like what we're talking about right now, being upset because of emojis, or being upset because somebody didn't change their status on Facebook, or being upset because on the first, second, or third date it wasn't going by their plan of what the first, second, and third date was supposed to be. That's who I'm talking about. People who are putting all of their stock in trying to change another person's behavior to make themselves feel better in the relationship.
Secure.
Once you get a person who is giving you all of
Secure in the
these hoops to jump
relationship.
through, they're trying to change who you are so that they feel secure in the relationship. That is a person that is not whole and that is not healed. The person
Yeah,
who's
that's true. jumping,
the person that's jumping through all them hoops like a performing animal, that person is not whole and healed, because nobody else should be able to pull your puppet strings. You're not whole
Right.
and healed. You need to do your
Right.
shadow work, because once you know who you are and what you will accept, then the people that are attracted to you will flock to you. But it's not
Right.
about knowing them, it's about knowing you and
Yes.
knowing
So,
your limitations and what you will deal with. Period.
Right.
So
So true.
again,
So true.
if you're arguing over that kind of stuff, you're not
Right.
whole, you're not healed, and you need to do your work before you
True
enter
that.
into it. Now,
True that.
there are some people that I believe need to stay together for the good of the universe. I believe that they need to stay together so that they could leave the rest of us sane people the fuck alone. You need to stay over there so the rest of the crazy, immature people deal with each other so that we don't have to deal with you. I do, when I see toxic people, like people that like to fight all the time. Oh no, you need to stay together because y'all need to just fight each other. That's what you need to do, because neither one of you need to be let loose on the dating population to be a drain on that and possibly ruin some other people along your way on self-discovery. Your self-discovery
Right.
should
Good stuff.
not
Good
leave a whole
stuff.
bunch of lost souls in your wake. You should
All
not
right,
be
Sir
hurting
Ed.
people
Listen,
in order to
Sir Ed,
get
she on
yourself together.
fire. Yo, you on
Been
fire,
on
Sir
fire.
Ed.
Y'all just
You
ain't
on
get some of the
fire.
smoke. That's all. That's
You on
okay. That'll
fire.
be cool.
I hate to interrupt this conversation, but y'all know what time it is. It's Thursday. We
You
need
got
to know
200 kids
who
tomorrow.
needs counseling. Who needs
Everybody that's
counseling?
arguing about emojis.
I didn't throw that on there. I didn't throw that on there. These the three things that came through this week. These are the three things who came through there this week. One of them is, why do people post their flight tickets and confirmation emails on Facebook for everyone to see?
Once they steal their identity.
Yeah, once they confirm a trip, are you that excited? Are you bragging? Do you want the whole town to know when you're going out of town so they can rob your ass? What is the problem with that? They call it in medical and counseling terms, you are a bractard and you need counseling. I didn't see people like, oh, I'm going out of here and you got all that stuff. Why do you need to do that? Why? What's the point of that? What's the point of that? As my grandmother would say, I always make reference to my grandmother. Act like you had something. Act like you had something. Or you done been somewhere. What is good with that? What's the point? Talk to me, panel.
Well, you already said
Quickly.
it, Dave. They're bragging. They're bragging because when people have not had anything, as soon as they get something, they want to let the world know. They're not thinking about the dangers of that. When my son first got his driver's license in California, he was so happy that mofo put it right up. I said, dude, so what I'm going to ask you to do is go. I understand that you're happy and proud that you got your license, but do you understand that you just put all your information up there and that if somebody decides to screenshot that, that's another way that someone can steal your identity? So he was excited and just didn't think about that. So there are some people that as soon as they get something new, they just gotta let the world know. Y'all listen, y'all never know if I had nothing new until you see me with it on. Hell, you be like, damn, bitch, where you get that, bitch? I done had this shit for a
You'll
month.
see me when I get back from my trip.
I done had it for a month. You will see me on the new beach while I'm on my trip. That's when you will see me. And that's I get online. But at that time, I'm still not telling nobody the dates of when my travel is, what airline I'm going to be on, and y'all need to come over here. No.
I ain't telling you where I'm staying at while I'm out either.
Again, people in their privacy, people that need everybody in their business. That's what it is. They're bragging. They want everybody to know that they got something. Look at me.
Yeah, but let Herbert do it. He's a hermit. Let that slide, Dave. You know I wasn't gonna let that slide.
I hear you, Herb. I hear some things Herb say could go for other people, but if Herb did it, it'll be a different story. Y'all ain't
Nobody
right for
knows
that.
what you're
We
talking
all, we
about
all have.
besides you and me. How
So
about that?
we all have that.
Not telling the whole world where you're going, and not telling your significant other where you're going. So try again.
Mm.
I love when people stick their foot in their mouth. I never talk about my significant other, so you don't know if I have one. You don't know what
That's right.
about.
You got
What?
your fur babies.
Close your mouth.
That's what you have told us in the past, is that you have left town and not told the person that you were seeing that you were leaving from your mouth.
And you're correct. I have. I didn't say I
So
do.
I didn't make it up and I didn't pull it out of the
And
sky.
the
Those were her
difference.
words. Those were your words. Your words. There you go. Thank you, sir.
I said I have. I can say I do. Understand the difference.
Mm.
English teacher, figure it out.
All right.
Math teacher,
Number two.
jackass, pay attention.
Number two. These is just irritations of mine. Don't mind me. They don't got to bother nobody else. Why are you leaving piles of bread and whatever else those piles pretending to feed birds from your top porch? Take your ass to the park and feed the birds. That heap of food attracts rodents. So what I'm saying, in the neighborhood, no, listen, let me finish. In the neighborhood, you have certain people act like they feed
You actually
birds.
spend time thinking about this?
Huh?
You actually spend
No,
time thinking
I
about
wanted you to
this shit?
finish. Is this happening in your neighborhood? Like when you walk and
In my
people
neighborhood, I go to my
puffs of
car, I
bread?
see a heap of damn a pile of food, and I'm like, and the woman speaks to me. She was trying to be flirtatious. Hey, how you doing? And all that stuff. And I'm looking like, what
Did you
is
put up
that?
a heart emoji?
We were talking face to face, like she was on her porch, and she's like, I'm just sitting out here feeding the birds and all that. Got a pile of food, and I know that eventually rodents or whatever, they look for a source of food. Yeah, rats look for a source of food. Take your ass to the park if you're gonna feed the birds, because that
How you
impacts
gonna
other
tell
stuff.
wait a minute, David. How you gonna tell somebody else what to do with their house? Don't go by there if you don't like their piles of bread.
This is just a conversation. Like
So
this ain't
David, you
literal.
don't care about the rodents at the park.
I feed the birds.
Yeah, you can feed the
You
road.
care
Yeah,
about the rodents
you can
at
do
the
that at
park
the
with
park.
kids.
You don't do that at the
But I
park.
do it. I do it. I feed the birds in my house, on my property. So what somebody else don't like is too damn bad. But I feed the birds. I'm a
If
bird
it
lady.
impacts other people, you need to stop, Mama T. I ain't scared of you, Mama T. I'm not scared of you. I'm here to tell you, I'm not scared of you.
That's because she's being nice to you, Dave.
Dave don't give a damn about the kids at the park. Let the rodents go to the park. Go to the park.
Right,
And
let the rodents
go
get
No,
kids and
on the
man,
everything.
slabs and on the
no. We can't have that.
There are feral
She
cats. There's a
suffers
such
from.
thing. There's a such
Listen,
thing called feral cats in the neighborhood. That's exactly why they're there. So if rodents and things come there, all them feral cats, unless you live next to a Chinese restaurant, and I know that sounds so judgmental. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, but we do know that they eat different types of stuff. I don't let my cats go nowhere
Yeah, they
near
do.
the Chinese restaurant. So what I'm saying is, unless you live in a neighborhood with a Chinese restaurant, if rodents come, so will the feral cats, and so will the things that hunt the rodents. Okay, so to say take the rodents to the park where the kids is,
no, I said she need to take her ass to the park on the bench and feed them individually. Stop leaving heaps of shit right there, whatever. We don't need that.
But why?
That's what I'm saying.
my darling, if they'll
But
leave
why
heaps of
does
stuff
she have
at
to
their
do
house,
that?
they'll leave heaps of stuff at the park.
She's suffering from FPP, fantasy prone personality, a person experiencing a lifelong, extensive, and deep involvement in fantasy. In fantasy, like she is some cul-de-sac or living by a lake that she can sit on her porch and feed birds and all that stuff. Take your
And
ass to
she
the park, whatever.
Well, here's the answer to your question, Dave. You need counseling. You're the one that needs counseling.
Whatever.
What's
Anyway,
the third one you got? What's the third one you got?
Third one.
Is it more stupid than the second one?
Now, there you go, talking like somebody don't hear you. Like somebody don't hear you.
Oh, I know you heard me.
I can't
I'm
with
just
Beck right now.
asking. Is it more stupid than the second one?
Well, he did say that it's just things that irk him. It's just stuff that
Exactly. So when
just
people
irks him.
internalize it and they tell like that,
I
they need
understand,
counseling.
Sarah, That's
So
what
what's
you
the
said.
because the
But
next
still
she might
waiting to
throw
be
a piece
let
of bread
in.
at you. If I was that lady, I'd throw a piece of bread right at you as you walking down.
Nah,
I'm
she
like,
ain't trying to throw the piece of
hey,
bread because I'm a piece of bread to her. Hey, how you doing?
piece of
Yeah,
bread, throw a wrap,
That's
throw
a
a rope,
sure
throw
sign.
something. So what's the third
yeah,
one you got? What's the
whatever.
other thing that makes you
Third one.
upset?
You walk into a place of business. Hey,
No, I know
Mr.
this fixed gonna
Security
be
Guard.
stupid.
Rebecca,
Yes, sir.
chill. Mr. Security Guard, Otis, why are you only checking the black people that come into your place of business, but let the white folks go by without any resistance? You know, white folks commit crimes as well. You suffer from colorism or shadeism, and your ass need counseling.
Otis needs a
That
redirection from his manager.
that's irritating. That's
Otis needs to be
irritating.
reported to his manager. He needs a redirection from his. Speaking of which, I had a guy, you know, the door guy. I had my dog with me, and he asked me if she was a service dog, and I said, well, she's not a service dog, but why? He said, well, you're not supposed to come here. Now, we're not going to talk about our, because see, you all know that I'm with the grandbabies. I have started using grocery shopping as an escape. I don't give a damn if we need milk. I don't give a damn if we need an ice cube. I go to the store. I got a favorite cashier and everything. And every day I take my dog with me. The employees have seen my dog. Now, just because they've seen it and they've allowed me to get away with it doesn't mean that it's right. So when he checked me about it and he was like, well, we can go get the manager. Well, let's do that because now I need clarification because I've been coming up in through here with my dog every day. You know, it's not a problem. So the manager comes and she's like, well, what's up? I said, well, they came and got you because there's an issue with my dog. And she says, well, what's the issue? I said, the gentleman asked me if it was a service dog. She said, well, let me stop you right there because that's a violation. The first thing is where they're not supposed to ask you if you if the dog that you have is a service dog unless it's some big ass dog you're bringing in, but they're not supposed to ask you. And she said it's because of this very situation right here. So then I
Correct.
immediately started to feel bad because I'm like, I don't want him to get in trouble because he changed his tune very quickly when I said, well, let's go get the manager. I guess he thought I was going to say, no, I'll just leave. Fuck it. Let's go get the manager because now I need clarification. And so what she said to me was, and this is one of those asinine rules to me. She said, well, we're not allowed to ask you if you have a service dog, but the only dogs allowed in here are service dogs.
It's a
Well, then
catch
that
20.
doesn't, then that really doesn't tell me what I'm supposed to do, ma'am, because if he wasn't supposed to even ask me, he was in violation of your code as far as even asking me, and we wouldn't be having this thing. I said, so here's what I'm gonna do, because I had already started the process for her to be labeled an emotional support dog, and I didn't feel the need to lie just so I could bring her in the store. I said, what I'll do is I'll finish that process because I could have been nasty and could have been like, well, I brought my dog in here every day and I'm a it's not that fucking serious. All I got to do, she can stay in the car, I could finish that paperwork. But now that she is a service dog, when I take her in there, dude has been redirected, and that's what she told me. That's what your scenario reminds me of. That person needs to be redirected. If they're blatantly only stopping certain people, then that's something. They need a redirection. They need you're right. They do need a counseling. They need a counseling. They need a counseling. Something. They need to be called into someone's office and spoken to about their violation of that store's policy. So
And
Yeah.
let me say this. Let me say this. And let me say this. When I say that, I only say they need counseling because I'm a counselor. So it's just a different part, adding a different element to the podcast, or whatever, different segment. So do I really think somebody's gonna sit down and like analyze or diagnose that they need counseling? It's all for fun, but these people still have issues, so they need
The
counseling.
motherfuckers arguing over emojis.
Well,
I think
David,
they need counseling. I think they need some time on the
David,
couch.
you
Some
do
more.
know that you're
Yeah.
one of them people, right? With the bread, I just can't get beyond that. You are one of those people you speak of.
Whatever. You can take shots what you want to, but you better be
I'm not
prepared to
taking
counter.
shots.
Better be prepared when I counter back. Know that.
I ain't worried.
Know that.
I ain't worried
Yeah.
about it. My
Know
mama raised
that.
not one punk, not one.
Know
But
that.
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you because you was really mad at the lady about the
I
thousand
was
bread
really
on
bad.
my
I
porch.
wasn't really bad. I wasn't really
If she
mad.
was up there with her titties out, with that bread out, I guarantee you they would have that to say.
Nah, I wouldn't even want that.
Hey,
Yeah, nah,
Mr. Glover.
nah.
You don't
Them,
gotta want her to look. We ain't talking about you want her, but I guarantee you wouldn't have a problem about that bread if she was sitting there with top out. Nah.
Who said she didn't have? Who said they wasn't hanging like that?
You, because if they were, you'd have mentioned that, because you'd have took that opportunity to let us know that this chick was up there with all her shit out. Yeah, you'd have told.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
I'm
but
pretty
no, they ain't have
detail
that.
oriented right there. Yeah. All right, all right. Marcia, I want to bring her in.
Okay.
All right, you sound better now because you had a whole lot of ruckus and you had a couple of devices and stuff going on. And I know we said a lot, and I honor that you took the time and you stayed with us. So I do want to hear your voice. So here, have at it.
In reference to the emojis, I think the lady in the blue, I think her name is Tiffany. I don't see anything wrong with emojis because sometimes to me, it just adds that little special touch. And I wouldn't necessarily look at it as being childish with someone saying that using those instead of being authentic expressing their feelings. That's all I gotta say.
Well, that's actually not what I said. I said somebody that's getting outside of their body about emojis is somebody that has issues. I even said on here that I use emojis with everybody: male, female, child, boy, girl, cat, dog. It doesn't matter to me. But I don't consider using emojis to be childish. I consider a childish response to the use of emojis as something a whole different issue. That's what I actually said. So yeah, I don't mind the emoji use, but if you get out of body because I heart somebody's picture, then you got a problem all your own. And to me, that's asinine. I'm just that's what I said.
Okay. Sorry for the misunderstanding.
You
Oh
all
no,
right? I
baby,
just
it go like
responded
that.
just so
People
you
talking all over other people. It can get real easy to mishear something. But yeah, I don't think that anybody cares about using them. I use them. I got grandbabies. Of course, I use emojis with the grandbabies. So, and my grandbabies will get upset about it. I use emojis all the time. My only point, and I think everybody's only point, is that to get your heart attached to somebody using emojis. That you counseling. What'd you say, David? You need counseling. You have to grow up from
need
that.
counseling.
Gotta grow up from that, because like I said, before emojis happened, we were communicating just fine. Nobody was having a problem understanding if somebody really hearted them or really cared about them. And it's just a cute way to say the things that we say every day. That, to me, that's what an emoji is. Just a cute way to say what we say every day. And so for somebody to get their stock in that's a problem. That would be a red flag for me. I can't suck on the dude that's upset with me about an emoji. I can't do that. We done had a whole argument about emojis, and now you want to put shit down my throat. That doesn't compute to me. I can't come back from that. I can't do that. So
and y'all know, like it was more stuff, research and stuff that could have been brought up with that. When I'm reading this stuff, I'm like, are they serious about this stuff? So everything on here, it may seem like asinine or a conversation, but the stuff be real. Like I'll be perplexed. Like, man, people really go through this stuff, but it's real stuff. Whatever that they do surveys. Now, granted, I don't know who they pull in or whatever the case is, but understand it be legitimate stuff that people go through. So we can't sweep stuff under the rug, because usually that's our issue in itself, sweeping stuff under the rug, like, oh, it don't impact me, I'm good. But once stuff start impacting others, essentially it's going to break through your barriers and it's going to impact you somewhere or another, whether it's your kids or whatever the case is. So you can pretend, or you can say, oh, I don't have nothing to do with that, but eventually it'll penetrate through that stuff, these little issues.
I think since I've been on here long enough, I'm sure everybody can understand that I'm not the type of person that approaches things in that manner. What I would say to anybody other than the child or someone of diminished mental capacity is that you really need to grow up. That's exactly what I would say, whether it's touch me or not. If you come and you ask me if you should be upset about an emoji, my response is going to be you need to grow up. Unless, of course, you're trying to invite somebody to come and get something or whatever, then I'll be like, okay, you got a valid argument. But if you're not a child, if you're supposed to be a mature adult and you come and say something to me about your male, your guy or your girl doing things with emojis, you really need to grow up and you really need to exit the relationship, because at this point you're going to damage someone over something so unnecessary and so asinine if you're not a child.
Definitely, because if somebody send me an emoji about what is that, eggplant, I want to know what you want me to cook dinner. And you know the eggplant.
Oh no, I know what the eggplant mean. I'm very happy.
I want to know, do you want me to cook
emoji.
dinner?
I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it, Mama T.
And that's supposed to have something
I'm a
about
different
sex.
type of breed. Yes. Eggplant emoji is, the male member.
It's a male.
That's the male member. That's
but
what
send me one. I might want to know, do you want me to cook dinner? I ain't in it. I'm not in no damn emojis. So you send me one. Do you want me to cook dinner?
You want eggplant for dinner?
Yeah, funny. All right. We about to do some closing comments, closing points, whatever y'all want to do. We can go in order, or we can I can say, I'll take first. Who wants to go first? Let's wrap it up.
Me. I'm
Anita.
tired.
Okay.
I'm tired. So good night, everybody.
Good night, Anita. Thanks for joining.
I'm tired.
If I could learn how to turn this off. Oh, there we go. Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night, Anita.
You know my closing phrase: growth and understanding the term area. Godspeed. See you next time.
All right, Herb. Appreciate you.
All right.
Who's next?
All right. Thanks for having me back. I really enjoyed this. Was very enlightening, and I feel like I'm on my regular Facebook page. I haven't been so attacked since earlier today, so I'm right at home with y'all.
Oh, you want the smoke, Willie? You want the smoke? I can tell. You want all the smoke.
Y'all made me feel right at home. So I will be back again. So I enjoyed this. Everybody have a good night.
Good night, brother.
Yeah.
Peace.
All right.
That's all though. You already know my face. Nothing hurt but a lick.
Ain't nothing hurt but a lick.
And eggplant.
Yes.
Right.
And you know mine's right. Eat the dog.
Eat the dog. Eat the dog.
Right.
Oh, eat the dog.
Right.
All right.
Everybody
You
already
know what I'm
knows
saying.
Check yourself more than you check other people, because your life will open up. You're the only person you control. Also, fair exchange and no robbery, but the issue is that most of the time we dealing with fucking thieves. So don't be a thief out in this piece. Give what you get. And karma's a bitch too. And she will come back at every turn. So yeah, that's what I got for you.
Okay. Appreciate it.
To thine own self be true. To thine own self be true. Hey, wait a minute, y'all. Herb was supposed to do something tonight, but I forgot what it was. Just Herb, I'm just letting you know that I forgot. But to thine own self be true.
How you gonna tell them they were supposed to do something, but you done forgot what they were supposed to do? You might as well.
That's why I laughed.
That they were supposed to do something. Oh, come on.
That's exactly why I laughed. That's so childish. That's super childish.
Why would you do that?
We'll discuss
super
that.
Childish.
Yeah, I'm wondering what he was supposed to do.
Right, now we all wondering that she could have kept that shit to herself until she remembered.
Oh, wait a minute. Did I say Herb? I'm so used to going. Wait a minute. Time out. I'm so used to spazzing out on Herb that it comes naturally. My bad. Dave, you were supposed to do something here tonight, but I forgot what it was.
What are you supposed to do? I ain't committed.
Stimulus thing, are you?
I thought that was tomorrow.
That's Monday. Oh,
you talking? No, that was for Monday. So you talk about the little raffle?
I don't know what it was. I know you said you was doing something. Oh, see, Lakia said it. She's in the comments. That's where I got it from.
No, first of all, no. It's supposed to. It's on Monday. Lakia, you're wrong. it was on Monday. I was going to draw for the top 10 contributors of in the counselors corner for the month of April. So I posted up the top 10 people on the list, and I said I was going to draw the names, and then they would get a $25 cash app from me. So that was on Monday. It wasn't tonight, but that was I didn't say the date. Well, I think I did put the date, but maybe I didn't. I don't know. Whatever the case is. So no matter what, it's on Monday. It's on Monday show.
It was in the comments. That's why I meant to. That's why I was messing with you. I did not mean to say Herb. I just so used to addressing Herb and the things that he say when he speaks.
You get me and Herb.
It automatically comes out.
You stay getting us confused.
It's one and the same.
Okay, you still
it
talking.
Does seem that way sometimes.
Did you hear me?
I ain't hear all the way. Anyways, girly girl, your closing points before I roast you.
Keep your raggedy ass over there, because we doing good over here.
Okay, Marcia.
Well, I didn't really hear the whole discussion, but I really enjoyed everybody, and I do plan on attending more discussions.
Appreciate you, and we'd love to have you.
Thank you.
All right. My thing is, you know what it is, emojis or whatever the case. It's about being in control of your emotions, whatever the case is. If you're solid in what you are, you don't pay attention to those things. Like I said, for me, I don't know what half of that stuff means. And I prefer to use words. That way you can't, unless you got a comprehension problem.
You know what that shit mean.
Huh? No, I don't know what all that shit mean. I don't. It's some weird stuff that be put out there. If you click on Google emojis, there's a whole ton of damn stuff, and you be like, what the hell that mean? I often ask, like, what does that mean? And somebody have to explain. And like, oh, this just mean this or this mean that. I'd rather choose words. If you have an issue with the words, then maybe you got a comprehension, or you can't pick up on context clues or whatever.
Or something like that there. Could be that.
But far as emojis and all that stuff, I don't know, and I don't get caught up in that. And I'll be damned if I let that dictate a relationship I'm in because of that. Heart whoever you want. If you're a woman that's man on there naked, I don't barely see men on there doing that stuff. Usually that
You're
may
not
be
supposed to see men on there naked. I see a whole bunch of men on Facebook naked. And yes, I do. You ain't supposed to see it. If it pop up on your page, I would be questioning you. But yeah,
now how does that question me if it's a male guy, just like you see women that's damn near naked, whatever. Do you not see that?
No.
Yeah. I see just as many women.
I go looking for the naked men. I'm just talking about me. I ain't talking about nobody else. I go and if I happen to get in a group that got some naked women, I exit stage left immediately because that doesn't. If it's gonna be naked, I need to see eggplant's hand. That's what I need to see.
And you got a point because there's certain groups that have certain stuff. They be like Tuesday titties and stuff like that, or whatever the case is.
You be knowing a whole lot for somebody that don't be seeing this stuff. Tuesday
listen,
titties.
I'm well diverse. Whatever.
But you don't know what emoji is?
So this is what
I'm
I
a grown ass man, so why I got to study emojis?
Ain't nobody saying nothing about you studying them.
Go ahead.
This is what I want to know. I want to know if this conversation had anything to do with your post that said when a man likes all a woman's pictures and she just says thanks, does that mean you're not interested? Is this one of those spin-off scenarios from that?
That was a part of it. It was a part of it. Of course, see, this is the thing. I set it up and I put stuff out there. We never even get to that point that I pull up the stuff that I have posted, because once we go in, I see how it go. So you never get to bring up, okay, let's go over this post, whatever like that. We never get to that point. And that's not a bad thing. It just means the conversation keep flowing and I don't have to go there. That's just in case if the conversation got dry and you're like, all right, I could always go to this and let's talk about that. But you already know once something is put out there, shit just take off. It just take off. And it just go on, and we go different directions. But I don't be mad about that because it's grown folks' conversation.
That's because I bring the fire when I show up. That's why.
You bring the fire. You should have stayed watching the draft. That's what you should have did.
What I want you to do is to bring yourself here, find the person that hit the transformer, whoop them up for me, and make sure they hurry up and get it together. Because believe me, I would rather been watching the drafts.
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
I know.
Not whoop them up though.
I would rather have watched the draft.
Whoop them up.
Yeah, come bring him over here. Come on and whip him up so we can get this together.
I'm messing with you.
Breaking them down like some fractions.
Use the whip emoji when you on your way too. That way we know. That way we'll know.
Guess Soraya, Miss Arts and Craft, always whipping up something.
Always.
All right, people. I'm out. I appreciate you all joining, coming in, giving your expertise and feedback. And I always say, we never know how the conversation is going to go. Put out the information. We say what it is. But at the end of the day, love is love. And sometimes you're going to agree to disagree. And we just going to keep going at it. That's all.
And I'm about to point at you, David, and tell you next time, make sure you got a spot for my man when he want to get on here. And I'm not going to repeat that. You got it?
I got you. I got you.
Have a spot
know what?
That was
he got to come
in your voice with that.
You know
girl.
what? He should secure his spot earlier or whatever. I didn't know. This is the first time it was full. This is the first time I got that message.
Hey, wait a minute. This is your platform, but nobody tells me what my man should have did. He come when he's ready, and you better have a spot for him. That's how that works.
You better come with the eggplant, Big John. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right, y'all.
I've been with the grandbabies for 45 days. I'm looking for eggplants. I'm sorry.
Time to start cooking.
I've been correct, ma'am. Yes, it is. Yes, ma'am, it is.
Time to start cooking.
Remember this, Mama T. I ain't afraid of you, Mama T. All right, good people. We out of here.
Mama T snapped so hard she knocked the piss out you.
No, ain't nothing hurt but a lick, huh?
Right.
I'm out of here, y'all.
All right, y'all be good. Y'all be safe.
Right.
All right, take care.